Welcome to the Wokest Warn, where we have the Wokest Discourse. Tonight, I'm going to talk about how to keep your organizing community safe from bullies. Now, I have been accused in the past of being a wrecker. And my response to that is that I am not a wrecker. I just have no tolerance of transphobia. Like, if you're going to start doing transphobic shit, I'm going to burn it all down. That's just how it's going to happen. I don't want to fucking organize with anyone who is transphobic. Period. I have left churches over this. This is non-negotiable. But I don't think I've ever been accused of being a bully. I don't. I was accused of being a bully in high school, and that was true. I was a bully in high school. But a very responsible adult took me aside and talked to me about my bullying. And I was like, wow, I never really thought of it that way before. You're right. And she was like, well, I'm going to hold you accountable to that. And I was like, all right. And I didn't bully after that. Because I was like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do here. So my point is I know a bully when I see one, because I used to be one. Now I was, 16 years old. One would hope, I'm 50 now, that I've grown from that experience. But this person who recently has been called out for being a bully, I also happen to know was a bully in high school. Ironically, they bullied gay people. I am not making this up. I swear to God. One night we were at Club Switch, and this dude comes up to them and is like, you bullied me for being gay all through high school, and you made me miserable, and I just wanted to tell you that, I did nothing to deserve that. And I was like, fuck, man, that shit's heavy. And I could relate to that, because I was a bully in high school, and if anybody from high school confronted me, I'd have to be like straight up, like, I'm not that way anymore. I'm sorry for the harm that I caused. Right? But this person is still a bully and is being called out for being a bully in organizing spaces in Youngstown. Now, I don't care about what goes on in Youngstown. I really, really do not. I am completely checked out. And in fact, I don't even care what goes on in Warren anymore. I'm like so far out of here in my mind, like it doesn't matter. I'm just speaking about these things topically in a general sense of like, oh, this is when there's a serious rupture in the local activist community. Maybe we could learn a lesson from this. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned here. So what happened is this activist in Youngstown got called out by another queer activist for being a bully. And I don't think the ironic part is that this person is not homophobic at all. This person just is not safe. So you can be ideologically very pro-gay. You can even be gay yourself. But you could be like super harmful to other gay people because of your toxic ass, right? I mean, we all know people who commit domestic violence and, other really, really unsavory stuff that destroys our whole community. Because when you do violence against anyone in the community, you're doing it to everyone in this community. And I think we would all agree with that. I mean, domestic violence is such a widespread problem. Most people have some experience with it. And so they tend to know how damaging it is to their community, to their family members. But there are things that you can do that are not as bad as domestic violence that can still be very, very, very damaging. And being a bully is one of those things. I don't really have any advice about how to prevent this from happening in your community, right? There's lots of articles that are out there that are like how to prevent wreckers in your organization, how to prevent, all of these social problems in your organization. And one of those problems that somebody pretty much better ought to write a advice column about is what to do when there are bullies in your organization. And I think that in my personal life, when people bully me, I stand up to them. This person hasn't spoken to me in years now because that is a form of abuse that they can control. This person will not speak to me and excludes me from all of their spaces. I was told, hold on. Okay, so I'm reading this tea on Facebook about all the shit that this person has done, absolutely disastrous to the left organizing community in Youngstown. And I am like, all of these things that you're accusing them of, I accused them of years ago. I'm going to be 51 years old this year. And this is some advice that I want to give to younger activists. And that advice is, don't do what I did. Don't cede any territory. I allowed this person to bully me out of these spaces. a lot of other people participated in that. People that I used to call comrades and friends who decided to exclude me from community. Over this personal beef between me and this bully. And nobody had the fucking guts to just stand up to them and be like, you're totally abusive. You're just abusive and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. I'm like, where were these people years ago that are now all of a sudden realizing that the bully is abusive and wrecks everything they touch? With, what is that phrase that they use in HR when it's a hostile work environment? There were a couple of things I did want to make some specific notes on, though. I sign on to like almost that entire statement. There were two things that I differed on. One was the accusations of sexual harassment. I did not experience that in my relationship with them because when they would hit on me, I would return the gesture, and then they would be like, oh, no, I wasn't trying to make out with you. I was just trying to manipulate you. And so then I did it like even more, you know? If you're gonna throw that out there and throw that kind of energy out at people, it's just very Gen X of me to like give it back, like give it right back. So yeah, so they were never interested in me sexually, and that was clear and explicitly stated. And like every once in a while they would forget, and like, because they're so used to using sex for power, that they would try to do that thing, where you hit on someone, but you're not doing it because you are attracted to them, or you're trying to signal to them that you're attracted to them. You're doing it to elicit a response from them, to give you money or some other favor. So that is how I would say, what I would have to say about the accusations about them Me Tooing, which is, I never got Me Too'd by them because, like, I may have sexually harassed them. I really don't remember. Usually when I was drunk, I think. So, but I could see that happening. Like, that's not inconsistent with the other things that I know about them. That's not out of their character to, especially with younger, inexperienced people. I can totally see them self-consciously exercising power through sex. You know how many women's studies seminars this person has sat through? They know exactly what they're doing. I'm just sorry that vulnerable people got hurt by it or made to feel uncomfortable by it. I don't know. See, the whole made to feel uncomfortable thing too, I'm like, made to feel uncomfortable. Why don't you, like, that is just, I'm too Gen X. I cannot deal with this. Someone made you feel uncomfortable. People make me feel uncomfortable all day, every day. Every fucking day. And so you know what? I make them feel uncomfortable right back. That's what you do. That's how you deal with that issue. But millennials and Gen Zers, they are sensitive and think that everybody should stop sexually harassing everybody else. And they're right. Sexual harassment is something that we should not be doing. I'm just saying, if you're going to sexually harass me, I'm going to sexually harass you right back. That's just the fucking toxic ass culture that I was brought up in. The other thing that I wanted to make a specific note, there are accusations that this person lied on grant applications, and that this person, there were financial irregularities involving $17,000. I don't know shit about any of this. I don't even know what the $17,000 was for or what organization it was made out to. I have no idea. I know nothing about finances, and I'm glad. I mean, like, I can't even do QuickBooks. Like, I can do an Excel spreadsheet for like data, but accounting, no. I can't do that. I lose the money. I lose the money all the time. I told my boss the last time I had a job where I was doing bookkeeping, I told him, I'm like, look, thank you very much for giving me this job. I am very grateful to you because I really needed a job. And I should have never taken this job because I hate bookkeeping, but I didn't know that until I worked here. So he was really cool. And he was like, oh, can you stay and train, your replacement? And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. No problem. I need to get out of here because this job is stressing me the fuck out. But I can train somebody. I don't need to like leave you hanging. Like, it's not a crisis. I don't need to go to the hospital. I just can't do this job anymore. So I wanted to say that there are allegations being made against this person for misappropriating $17,000, and I can't say what I think about that one way or the other, if it might be true or might not be true, because I could have $17,000 and you could steal it off of me, and I probably wouldn't notice. And when I found out about it, I'd probably forgive you, because I just cannot care about money at all. It's one of my worst traits as far as survival goes in a capitalist hellscape. I don't care about money. So yeah, I was never sexually harassed by them, and anything that would meet the human resources definition of sexual harassment, we've all seen the videos. Never experienced any of that. I probably did that to them. So I cannot be a character witness about that subject. And also, I cannot be a character witness about bookkeeping. I just know this is not the first time that there has been an issue with the bookkeeping, which, I mean, to me, I always thought it was just like personal butting heads. Like whoever's in charge of the bookkeeping is like, yeah, I don't think we're going to do that because that's not like ethical or fiscally responsible or whatever the fucking reason. Like, I don't know tax laws. I don't know shit. I don't want to know shit. I don't like this stuff. But, some person who cares about these things and does these things professionally is like, no, it's like my professional ethics. I have to say no to that. And this person would then lose their mind because they didn't get their way. I have seen that happen before. But, I never saw anything unethical happen because I wouldn't even know something unethical in bookkeeping. If you did it right in front of my face, I would have no idea, because bookkeeping is like I have a better chance of being able to read Greek than I do of like operating a spreadsheet. Like, forget it. But I don't care about what happens in Youngstown. I just don't care anymore. I'm just saying that I'm going to find myself in a new community and new organizing spaces very soon. I'm going to the Midwest for a couple months, and I'm sure that I'll visit and be a guest at like rallies and stuff there, like fundraisers and stuff. Not going to be doing any protesting though, because I'm mentally don't have the capacity for that right now. I don't have space in my life for protesting right now, because I would be very upset if I went to jail. In the past, I accepted going to jail and knew that I could go to jail by going to a protest, and I made that choice. And I am experienced enough and smart enough at 50 years old to know that if I absolutely cannot get arrested right now, then I do not want to go to a protest. And so I am not going to go to any protests. But like, I'm sure that I'll be in spaces like in people's homes or churches or wherever. And I'm going to be walking into like totally new rooms. And I'm going to take all these lessons with me. So like, if there is a bully, I will scan them. I will scan them out like right now. And I will not put up with that. Yeah, so I'm going to be entering into a period where I'm going to be traveling, and I'm going to be going into all these strange spaces. So I'm going to be taking all of the lessons that I've learned from local organizing, and especially dealing with this problematic person who is a bully, and take that with me when I go. And just like when the vice principal in high school pulled me aside and was like, hey, you're being a bully. Like, it has to stop right now. Like, we're not going to do this because you're hurting people and you're making them feel upset and scared. And I was like, I was flabbergasted. These people would not last one day in a house with my mother. I mean, what kind of, these fragile ass people, I just cannot understand how they grew up. Like, in what environment did they grow up? Like, that they like can't live their life if someone's making them uncomfortable. And I am suggesting to you, my listeners, my viewers, to take that lesson into your organizations, your union or your church group. Really doesn't matter. Like, whatever organizations you're involved in, your bowling club. If there is someone in there who is a bully, you need to, like, tell them to stop. You need to be like, you're being a bully and you need to stop because you're doing irreparable harm. And I'm not going to allow you to do that harm. That's what needs to happen. And that's what this person on Facebook did. And I am really glad that I am in a group of comrades now that I don't have anybody bullying me. Like, I don't. It's that's very unacceptable in the communities that I work in now. You know, we consciously don't treat one another that way. And so I'm asking my listeners, when you're in your organizations, you're responsible for maintaining and building the culture of the organizations and the communities that you're part of. So if somebody in the PTA is being a fucking bitch, you need to be like, come over here. We're going to have a conversation. And when this conversation is done, I'm going to need you to make a decision. Thanks for listening.